Hi everybody, and welcome to Traveling with Russell, and welcome to a new video, and welcome to Moscow, Russia. Now today's video, as you can see from the title, is Russia's largest supermarket. Yes, I found it here at Russia's largest shopping center, Avia Park, and I thought I'd just take you for a walk around of the largest supermarket in all of Russia. So, are you ready? Let's go. Now it's probably a little bit hard to tell from this angle, but it's actually 2 levels. So imagine a supermarket with another supermarket stacked on top of it. Yes, you can just see downstairs over here, the checkouts for the lower level, and upstairs it's only self-checkouts. So typically most people start upstairs, they do their shopping, then there's actually a travelator inside which will go down, and you end up paying for all your goods downstairs, or you can pay upstairs if you don't need to sort of do too much full shopping in here, because the entire supermarket probably would take you at least an hour, maybe 2 hours if you really wanted to take your time walking around. Now I was just about to head on inside and I got a bit distracted by a pet shop right across from the entrance of the supermarket here, and it's pretty neat. They've got some parrots right here who are basically a little bit distracted, but yeah, there's some very nice birds in here. I mean, of course, a pet shop, we all know, we've seen them around the world. Now, did you know that budgerigars, or budgies, are native to Australia? Yes, they've got a whole lot of them right here. And there's one over here on his own. Got a shorter tail as well. And there is a nice cat right here, who's really friendly, it looks like. There's actually the glass on the outside of the store here, so. Now imagine walking in the largest supermarket in all of Russia and you've only got hand baskets. But actually this lady right here is going to give us a good example of what happens. You get these little mini trolleys and you put your basket in it. And it looks like Christmas is also here as well, in October. Now, just to give you a point of reference, I'm here at 4 p.m. on Thursday afternoon. So if it doesn't look awfully busy, it's because it's still a working day. Most people are still at work. Actually plenty of staff around, but all the Christmas stuff is ready to go so early. They've got a few pallets here that they're still unpacking, but Christmas is in full swing. Now, I'm not going to concentrate too much on pricing on this walk around. I really just want to get you an idea of the size of the place and how, I'm going to say, ridiculously big it is for a supermarket. Now, this is the upper level, and this is all of the household items, kitchenware. There's a tiny bit of furniture. I don't know how people possibly get them home, but you'll see, hopefully, a lot of people with these small baskets and how they negotiate getting around. There's more houseware kind of stuff here, pillows, blankets. And they have this enormous electrical goods section. It's mostly small electrical goods. There's some bigger ones in the back there, fridges, televisions. There's some computer stuff. Obviously winter time, they've got all the heaters out now. Most people have central heating in their houses, but you might want to put an extra one in. And there's even an indoor garden center, which is kind of neat. These are mostly all indoor plants as well, obviously. Look at all the cactuses here. You call them cacti? I think that's the plural of one cactus. Maybe get a palm tree. Nothing like having a palm tree in Russia when it's only a few degrees outside today. One of the coolest things about this supermarket, it has its own little cafe right here as well. So it's nice, you can go sit down, relax, have a coffee, some cake. It's nice and spacious. Lots of people just relaxing between doing their shopping. And also the prices are really cheap as well. You know, these are really like lower than a normal cafe kind of price. You know, it's just an encouragement between shopping. Yeah, so before everybody kind of starts saying there's no one in the shop, it's empty. Again, this is the middle of the afternoon on a Thursday. I kind of tend to come shopping on Saturdays and Sundays here because it's just a madhouse. And there's just people everywhere, so I figured I'd come midweek to the largest supermarket in Russia. This is still considered a supermarket. This is all the electrical items here. You know, it's pretty classic if you went to a kind of a standard electrical goods store. Got some fridges over here. So imagine some of these things you can get home delivered as well. I'm not too sure. We've never actually bought anything sort of large electrical from this kind of store ourselves, but there's even some dishwashers as well. Now I find this kind of interesting here in this outdoor section. They've got snorkel and masks and then pool noodles. So I'm not too sure where you'd go snorkeling in Moscow, but there's quite an assortment of them though. Now if anyone's ever lived in Russia or been here, you've pretty much seen these kind of sleds. These are basically kind of the real basic style of pram for kids. But it's got just the metal runners there, so they're perfect for the snow and for winter. Obviously there's quite a few different types here, but pretty much any hallway of any apartment building in Russia has one of these sitting in the hallway, because most people won't put it in their house, taking up space, so you can always find one. I know there's actually one in our hallway back in my little town. And not too far from now, a couple of weeks away, we've got Halloween coming up. And they've actually got a little bit of Halloween stuff right here, some costumes, mostly focused around the kids, not a whole lot of stuff, but some of those spiders on a string that you can put up. And then different kind of decorations, I guess. Is that like the fake blood right there that you can get? But there is stuff for Halloween. There's also a pretty extensive shoe section here as well. It kind of goes on one side over here, and then there's the other aisle here. You can see how far back it goes. Essentially, it's an entire supermarket on this upper level, duplicated with all the food downstairs. Now, Bearbull Cruising, who's one of our channel subscribers for quite a long time, I think you might be happy to see this. I didn't actually even put this right here. It was already on display. San Francisco t-shirts right here in the clothing section. Actually, there's a whole collection of them as well. There's Miami right there. I guess that's Los Angeles, Hawaii. How interesting is that? So the good amount of all the clothing here is actually Ashan's in-house brand, in extenso. So they don't really have any kind of branded products. It's all in-house, but it kind of is a lot of stuff. There's the kids side over here, and all these winter boots have come out now. These kind of, do you guys call them Wellington boots? I'm not sure if they would call them that in Russia, but plenty of clothing choices. So as we move on here from the clothing section, it comes then into kind of the cleaning section and personal hygiene. Here's the toilet rolls, and they've got a huge display of them, and there's an entire aisle just over here on the left. There's actually kind of whole aisles now of all the cleaning products you can see on both sides there. And then dishwashing liquid, and here's all the smellies for your house. So if you're needing all of the you know, like Glade kind of plug-in and air fresheners and different things. This whole section here is only washing up liquid. How crazy. And then we've got the ones for dishwashers off in the distance. And then we've got all of the garbage bags and things like that. So basically, where you think of a normal supermarket, think of it kind of 4 times the size of a traditional supermarket that you'd go to in America, in England, Australia. Think of a Walmart in terms of America, but with a Walmart on top of it. I think that's the only way you can kind of justify how big this place is. Here's all the stuff for your clothes drying and clothes storage. And then there's the never-ending aisle of washing detergents. So where you're going to do your, for washing clothes, let's say. There's plenty of choices. There's quite a lot now that are also the kind of, I guess you call them healthy options, or I don't know, biodegradable kind of options, along with kind of all the traditional ones. I think you guys will know Persil and Tide, Ariel, very well-known brands. And this next aisle is all of the pet food. This is pretty much only the dog aisle here. And actually, unlike a couple of the other stores that I've shown recently, they didn't have canned dog food, but it seems that Ashan does. And they have a lot of it too. The One thing here in Russia, or especially in Moscow, with a lot of people living in apartments, they don't have big dogs. So most people have smaller dogs that are more practical for apartment living. So all of the biscuits here, I guess dog biscuits, and then all the accessories for the dogs. And then coming around the other side here, we've got all of the cat food. So there's the dry biscuits on one side, entire aisle, and then all of these kind of squeezy packs, these single serve ones, Whiskers, Kitty Cat, Felix. These are all the brands that I might have shown in other videos, but you'll see here the sheer amount of them, just kind of the entire aisle. Now I know it was mentioned in Petra's video, so whoever's come over from that channel to mine, welcome of course, but she did point out the kitty litter, or pet litter I guess, and I didn't realize that there's half an aisle of pet litter. I didn't even realize there was this many brands. In Australia, the supermarket I worked in, we had 4 different types, and they were mostly just different sizes, but have a look at all the choices. Now I really did want this video to be more about just showing you how big the largest supermarket in Russia is. Didn't really want to focus on how many people are in here, or they don't have full baskets, or how cheap something is, because I'm kind of pointing that out in different videos, but I hope this is kind of helpful and kind of just insightful about how big supermarkets really can be. Now, I really like how they kind of separate a lot of the products here. Obviously they've got the space to do it, but this is the kids' food section over here. So there's all the baby food off on the left there. Then there's all these kind of waters that are focused around kids and babies and infants. And you can get sort of different water to the traditional tap water, I guess. I don't know. But then coming around the corner here, you'll then see all of the nappies, as we call them in Australia, diapers, depending on where you live. And then all of these kind of different lotions and creams and different things for the babies and kids as well. And the whole aisle here of diapers and nappies on the left here. So just the upstairs section here has 74 checkouts. So they're actually kind of mixture of self-checkouts and then assisted checkouts. So there's 74 of them just on this upper level. So one thing that's kind of interesting here in Russia is now the amount of people that are doing online shopping. Oh, здравствуйте. And so basically you place your order online. This is actually SberMarket, which is actually independent from the supermarket, but you can choose the supermarket you want to shop in. And these ladies come around and do your shopping for you. And there's even a register just here as well. And you actually have a lady doing the full checkout of your goods. Then it's prepared then for delivery or pickup. So you choose which one you're going to do. And there's guys and girls here running around preparing all of that. So this is the last corner of the upstairs level. And this is all of the personal care items. So men's and ladies, I guess kind of beauty products and things like, toothpaste, shampoos, lotions, things like that. Now, the reason why this is all upstairs versus being mixed in with the supermarket downstairs is they want to kind of keep all of the smelly goods away from the food goods. So that's kind of interesting. I wonder if anyone kind of picked up on that at all. Of course, they've got the space here that they can spread it out, but it just makes a lot of sense to not have the, kind of smelling incense kind of products mixed in with all the food. But yeah, there's a lot to choose from. Now, it was mentioned a couple of times in other videos about, can you get Gillette razors in Russia? And yes, you can, and there's a lot of them. It's essentially the entire aisle here. They have gone up a lot in price. I use an electric razor personally, so I don't use the sticks or these, I guess, disposable type, but the prices have increased because a lot of these are imported. So that was about it for the men's section, just those razors there. And then obviously all the rest is all for the ladies here. And it's a lot to kind of choose from. Again, it is busy in here. There is people shopping, but it's just so huge that you just don't feel it. If everyone was kind of squashed into a smaller store, it would be more noticeable that it's busier, but yeah, you don't sort of notice it walking around. So one thing that's very evident with this shopping supermarket is the amount of staff in here, the amount of refilling they're doing. It's very evident. Every department and section has staff. And then there's security kind of patrolling around at the entrances. It's very busy with staff, which is very normal in Russia. I know a lot of people are pointing this out where they live. They don't have that kind of, amount of staff in the stores, but here there is. They're all over the place. And then as we come on downstairs, hopefully you can get an idea of how big it is on this lower level. And we've actually got the beer and alcohol section right at the beginning. And then it goes off to the food off in the very, very distance. So only last night I was actually reading a story about all the international brands that are leaving Russia. And obviously we're 8 months into the start of a lot of these changes, but Amarula right here from South Africa. There's Aperol, maybe if you're Italian. And then there's some gins here. The one thing I read about was about Bacardi and how there's no Bacardi in Russia, but the shelves are kind of full. Yeah, these are all there's a small amount of all the liqueurs and liquors here in this supermarket. So it just keeps on going as you walk around a little bit more. And then we're going to come in here towards all of the wines and champagnes. We've got the whole aisle of reds and whites over there on the left. And then champagnes, I guess sparkling wines. Probably not all of these are the original champagnes, but there's a whole aisle of them. And then don't fear everybody, they do have vodka in Russia. It's interesting though that they kind of cram it right in the corner of the supermarket here, right behind all the poles. It's not kind of front and center like you think it would be. It's kind of hidden away. And then all of the other brands are kind of put ahead of it. And then they've actually got a sectioned off area here with all the premium spirits and premium wines and champagnes. And I think the guy's just hiding there behind the wall there. There's a security guard for when you come in this little section. But it used to be a normal liquor store with the entrance and exit, but they've just combined it with a supermarket now. And all of the premium wines over here. And if we've got anybody from the US watching, I think we do. We've got plenty of people from the United States watching. Bayou Rum is from Louisiana. Check that out. Louisiana rum in Russia. The one thing that bothers me a lot about alcohol in Russian shops is how they put all the brands wrong now. If anyone knows, I do work on cruise ships in the alcohol section of the duty-free shops. And they've kind of put brandy right here next to Jack Daniels and then next to Kentucky Boat. So it's kind of Elijah Craig right there as well. And then there's Irish whiskey. Why don't they just put them by their kind of categories? And then there's some cognac here as well. And then for all of the chefs at home or bakers, I guess, they got a kind of whole section here of all of the different gelatins and baking goods, baking needs. From working in supermarkets, I always forget the name of the category of all these, but there's a whole aisle here. Then it kind of goes down to all the sugars off in the distance there. You can see the pallets of them right at the end. And then here's all the different fizzy drinks and sodas, pops, cool drinks, I guess depending on where you live in the world. Of course, no more Fanta, but we've got Fancy. This is the Ashan one as well here. This orange one right here with a kind of generic label on it. And then there's all of the different cola products. I guess we're going to call them cola products. Here's Chernogolovka cola right here, which is pretty much probably the most recognized brand name, Chernogolovka. And then there's Cool Cola, Jumbo Cola, a lot of colas. And there's an energy drink section right after it. And then coming around the other side here, plenty of juices. So all these carton juices, there's every flavor of fruit juice you could possibly imagine. You almost struggle to find the orange ones mixed in here. So coming downstairs now, you can see, hopefully, it's quite a lot busier than the upstairs area. Obviously this is the kind of, I guess, the true supermarket as we kind of walk around. It's got a lot of people kind of buzzing about. Again, it is a huge space, so there's a lot of people in the store when you're walking around. So, I mean, you're looking at sort of a couple of thousand people in the whole supermarket at the same time. Now, Auchan doesn't always have the best name or reputation amongst other Russian supermarkets. This, of course, is a French company, but have a look at their little bakery section here. They got a nice display of the breads on the back there, and then there's a lady that basically measures out what you want when you're buying these different croissants. And then the bakery back here, they've got everything done in-house. It's actually a huge bakery. This would be a small supermarket in some countries. It's not sort of so well lit at the back there, but pretty sure because it's 24-hour operation, they've got a kind of set lighting. And hopefully we're going to always battle to get into the bread section to have a good look. But you'll see again everybody with these smaller baskets. There is a few people with bigger baskets, but have a look at all the choices of breads. There's all the single serving ones here. Just get the tongs and off you go. And all the normal bread at the back there. One other thing I like about Auchan is they've got a lot of lower priced food goods. Now, I'm not going to focus on the prices, but these are all the biscuits here, and these are all of out of packaging ones. So they basically bulk produced, then they're just repacked just with cellophane, and they put a price ticket on them. And rather than getting the kind of branded packaged biscuits and cookies, lollies and candies right here, you get them in kind of generic plain packaging at probably less than half the price. So for Russia's biggest supermarket, it's got the smallest possible cereal section. So they've got the whole aisle here of cereals and different things, but they've only got literally a couple of these box cereals. Here there's like Unicorn, and then Nesquik. And I just noticed another one over here, Crave, and that's it. So, you know, very typically though, a lot of people here have oats and porridges for breakfast over having very traditional like cornflakes and Rice Krispies. So you'll see even more on this side. And then all of the candy by weight here as well. I have pointed this out in other videos of other supermarkets, but they've got a fairly big one in this store. It kind of extends over 2 aisles. So again, you just basically choose what you want. It's by weight, and then you just pay for it. There's a self-checkout where you actually weigh your own candy. It's not too uncommon here too that you actually eat one as you go, or eat one or two. You'll almost always have some. It's very normal to do that in Russia. Eat some candy as you're buying it. And then here we come into the fruit and veg section. Now it's not really that busy considering the amount of people that are in the whole supermarket. Bananas right there, again always front and center. And then typically these middle aisles have got all of the seasonal fruits as well. But there's still a lot of people around. Tomatoes, cucumbers, all the usual suspects, as Konstantin says on Inside Russia. Yeah, there's still every possible fruit and vegetable that you could ask for in here. It looks like I've come into some luck. My chocolate's on special, 54 rubles. Alpine Gold here. If you look at how many different choices of Alpine Gold there are, I just like their absolute classic milk one right here. That's my normal go-to one. But there's only another 14 other flavors. This is all the candy and biscuits, chocolates, sweets section over here. Not really as full as it would be if you go to most supermarkets around the world. The candy aisle's normally a lot busier. Here it's much quieter. All the chocolate, there's a good amount of chocolate brands here as well. I mean, probably 40 or 50 brands of chocolate. And there's all of the sweet chewing gums and all of the sugary kind of sweet and sour kind of snacks here. Plenty of M&Ms, Skittles, we know them very well, I think. Yeah, it's definitely busier at this supermarket end now. I think the wide lens on the camera gives it a bit of a deceiving feel to how many people are in here. You know, especially the fact it's over 2 levels as well. So, you know, from the point that you walk in to walk out, you're probably a minimum of 1 hour in here if you were gonna just do your regular kind of shop. It seems like every supermarket in Russia has an aquarium. So again, bring the kids. They can come and have 10 minutes of fun having a look at all the fish in the aquarium right here. We've got a few of the fishmongers over here, and everybody have a look at what the fresh fish of the day is. It's actually more people kind of creeping in this section. And here's all the salty fish over here. You'll see all of the different packagings the whole way down this refrigerator. And then in the supermarket downstairs here, they've got a second cafe. Now this is all of the prepared food and cooked food. You can see all the ladies in the back here, guys as well, that do all the cooking. As I kind of get inundated with people. All of this different foods. And then once you purchase this, obviously you can either take it home and eat it, or they've got this little sit-down cafe over here. Right, literally in the middle of the supermarket. How neat is that? So basically this is all, you have to pay for basically what you're eating, of course, but there's a register right there where you pick up the food and then sit down and chill out between aisles. So coming over to the refrigerated section here, it's huge. Let me tell you, if you were just coming in on a normal shopping day, you'd have half your basket done and full by the time you get out of the kind of the meat section, let's say. Here is just the aisle of the chicken here on the right hand side, and you can get it in any shape or size you like. And then all of the meats here, so pork, beef, lamb, a lot of choices. So this supermarket does have a frozen section now. I have pointed this out a lot, that it's not nearly as popular in Russia to buy things in the frozen section as it would be in all of the different fresh parts of the supermarket, but they do have a couple of aisles of frozen goods. And then if anybody's a big fan of cured meats or hams, salamis, packaged meats, there is an absolute ton of them here in Ashan. Like really. You've got the ladies here that do all the packaging up as well. So they'll basically take all the bulk sausages and then pack them into smaller kind of lots. But you have, I would say, hundreds of different types of sausages. And then right on the other side is all the cheeses. Yes. And again, there's the lady there doing all the cheese slicing. So you can choose what size cheese that you might want. And here's all the packaged ones as well. Camembert, brie cheeses. There's a lot of choices of cheese. A little bit of a small traffic jam of people here. Everybody deciding what they want. The problem you've got when you come to this kind of store is the amount of choices. So where you might go to a local store where you live, there's a few choices. You come to Ashan and you're just overwhelmed. Here's more of the sausage section right here. So I just want to ask you, are you a shopper who goes to big supermarkets like this, like huge supermarkets? Or do you like going to smaller kind of, more personal kind of deli style shops? Or like we have in my little town, we've got little rynoks or food markets where it's a lot less choices. It's a lot easier to choose what you want to buy versus coming in here where you're just overwhelmed with the amount of choice. So just here at the checkouts, I've just had a bit of a thought, you know, I wonder if it hinders how little people shop when they have to take the smaller baskets. Now, if you think about it practically, obviously it's easy to carry home if you're not with a car and you're taking public transport. But the amount of people who do have these baskets, you've got to wonder if the average receipt or the average amount of products that people buy is reduced somewhat because you're kind of not taking the big trolley. And then this is the tea section here, which again just goes on and on and on. I kind of don't like my wife coming to Ashan if I come here because she'd sort of spend half an hour in this aisle alone trying to choose from you know, 100 different types of teas and different flavors. And you'll see on this side all the choices of coffees as well. They kind of go the whole aisle back this way as well. But yeah, that's the one thing with coming to the Russia's biggest supermarket, is you're going to have Russia's biggest amount of choices of food to choose from. Now just notice this clock here, 5:15 p.m. So I've been in here over an hour just walking around and cutting in and cutting out, filming this. Look how wide this middle aisle is, by the way. Now they do normally have some promotions down this middle aisle, but there's a few kind of been taken away or they're not out at the moment. But I hope the amount of people kind of just proves that people are shopping in Russia. You know, I do get a lot of comments, oh, the shops are empty, the shelves are full. I mean, again, you guys can comment how you wish, you know what I mean, and how you kind of see this. And I really just want to focus on the sheer size of this supermarket and just even the amount of people and the amount of choices, more so than kind of just looking at the price of individual items. Now, I just walked past this Barilla here, gluten-free. Now, someone has also asked me as well, do they have gluten-free products in Russia? Now, I would never kind of think about that. I know in Australia we've got sections of it in the supermarket, but there is a section right here. And then this is also combined with all the health food items, I guess. I'm not sure. I'm not a shopper in the health food aisle, but you'll see here on both sides the healthy section. It must be healthy. It's got the word fit on the box, right? It has to be a giveaway. Yeah, they've kind of combined every different category of products here into the same place. And then all of these, I guess, energy bars and different things like that, or healthy bars. I know my wife has some of these at home. She likes them. I'm not into them at all. So just walking around the fruit and vegetable section a little bit more here. It's kind of interesting in Russia, the sheer amount of fruit and vegetables that you can get and the variety. And then no matter the season, you can still get things like coconuts, you can get berries, strawberries, gooseberries, blackberries. Now it's coming into Halloween, there's some pumpkins. There doesn't seem to be really the interest in Halloween here like there is in other places in the world, but it's just interesting, the sheer assortment of fruit and vegetables that you can get in a Russian supermarket, no matter what sort of time of year it is. And then the amount of mushrooms as well. And then this is my wife's kind of favorite area here, all the different greens, spring onions, and different kind of herbs. There's the whole kind of row of them right here. And they've even got one over here where they've got the sprinklers running as well, so you can get different herbs for your salads. Pretty much everybody has a salad on the table in Russia when you're making lunch or dinner. So there's a lot of choices. Okay, so I want to thank everybody for watching the video. We're in the last minute or two, so if you're watching this last part, thank you. Hope you enjoyed this walk around of Russia's largest supermarket, Ashan, here at Avia Park, which is Russia's largest shopping center. Of course, we didn't really see the shopping center too much. We saw the pets at the beginning, but if you like this, give it a thumbs up. Again, let me know in the comments what you think. I did give you a few opinions here and there. I'm sure everybody's opinion back may be a little bit different, but I'm okay with that. Please write them away in the comments, let me know. If you maybe want to share this with a friend or family member who might be interested as well. Thanks again for subscribing. If you aren't, you can click the button for that. And I'm off on another adventure. Bye, everybody. Now, just to see if we've got people watching till the very end, and maybe let me know that you saw the aquarium. This is the largest cylindrical aquarium in the world here in Avia Park in Moscow, which is the largest shopping center in Russia. And I get questioned about it a lot. I always say it's the largest in Europe, but maybe it's not, maybe it is. If you're watching the last minute or so of the video. Let me know in the comments if you saw the aquarium here. It's very neat. And I can stare at this as well for a good 15 minutes when I come to the shopping centre here. You can see how big this place is. It's over 4 levels. And just incidentally, right here is L'Occitan, which is definitely open. They've got the Russian spelling of the word L'Occitan now. No more English spelling of L'Occitan. But check out this aquarium again. It doesn't really do it justice here on the camera, I know that for sure, unless you've got a 75-inch television on the wall watching this. It does have the Guinness World Record plaque right here from when it opened, 20.31 meters, 28th of October 2015, when this was put into, I guess, into operation. Is that what you'd call it?